Morning, everybody. My name is Amy Nelson, and for the first official time, I am co-directing Chalice Camp this year, though I have dabbled in it multiple times over the past 8 years. And over that past 8 years, for 1 week each summer, our youth and children gather to spend a week learning about what it means to be a Unitarian Universalist. This year, camp number 9, and over 50 campers and counselors are going to be gathering this next week from about 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. to continue this tradition. They learn and review our 7 principles, attend worship, do small service projects, and build relationships. This week is one of the most beautiful things I experience at this church. Personally, it is important to me to have my children attend Chalice Camp every year, and it has become a must-do for them as well. Last year, they had to miss the sleepover, and that was not pretty. Claire and Trigby, who are now 13 and 11, have been here every single year. After starting in the yellow group, which is the youngest group, Claire is now starting her first year as a junior counselor. And Trigby, who was the youngest camper in 2011, this was before we allowed 3-year-olds and he was 3, is now a leader in training. To see them grow into these leadership roles has been a great journey for all involved. So what keeps them wanting to come back? I think it's the people. It's important to me to have my kids around other UUs. I mean, let's just face it, there aren't a lot of them out in the schools these days. Not only because of the similar values, but because of the variety of spiritual beliefs. That we have 7 principles that bind us together, but can differ in our beliefs of what is behind everything. Well, that is something that we need to be celebrating more. Another wonderful thing about our Chalice Camp is the opportunities for all of the generations to come together. We have campers, now officially as young as 3, counselors who come back from college, and adult volunteers of all ages who help with the day-to-day. And we would love to have more, just saying. There are all sorts of things that these adult volunteers can do: take pictures, put together snacks, help create our camp to be a safe and fun place. If you wanted to just stop by and see what's happening and not officially volunteer for anything, like I said, we're here 9 to 5 every day this next week. A little bit of what to expect. You will hear words like nifflers, muggles, prefects. Those of you familiar with Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts might recognize some of the items up here, which is our theme for this year. It's going to be a fantastic Chalice Camp. You will see kids covered in tie-dye, but hopefully not too much, and doing all sorts of crazy crafts. Our youth will be leading and teaching our younger campers, leading them in games, teaching them about fairness and equality. Adults will be around, putting together owls, broomsticks, and lions, all for snacking. And as we do at every camp, we look to how we use our principles in the world. And this year is no exception. We are going to use our principles to fight horcruxes, social injustices, destroy things like cruelty, hatred, poverty, hunger. Needless to say, these are some heavy topics and not something that every summer church camp would necessarily delve into. But we as UUs are up to this challenge, and so are all of our campers and counselors. One of the most beautiful things about this is, though these are heavy topics, we use our 7 principles to lift up the injustices in the world and figure out how our children can grow and fight these injustices. This year, one of the things we're doing is collecting donations for organizations. As Luke mentioned, it is in your order of service. You can bring them all on one day, each day just to stop by and say hi. But most importantly, we use our principles, love, and beauty to defeat the darkness that is creeping more and more prominently into society. So to bring us together into this space, all is one, as we do every Sunday and every day at Chalice Camp, we light the chalice. Today's words for the chalice lighting come from Maya Angelou. Open your eyes to the beauty around you. Open your mind to the wonders of life. Open your heart to those who love you, and always be true to yourself.
It matters what we believe. Some beliefs are like walled gardens. They encourage exclusiveness and the feeling of being especially privileged. Other beliefs are expansive and lead the way into wider and deeper sympathies. Some beliefs are like shadows, clouding children's days with fears of unknown calamities. Other beliefs are like sunshine, blessing children with warmth of happiness. Some beliefs are divisive, separating the saved from the unsaved, friends from enemies. Other beliefs are bonds in a world community where sincere differences beautify the pattern. Some beliefs are like blinders, shutting off the power to choose one's own direction. Other beliefs are like gateways, opening wide vistas for exploration. Some beliefs weaken a person's selfhood. They blight the growth of resourcefulness. Other beliefs nurture self-confidence and enrich the feeling of personal worth. Some beliefs are rigid, like the body of death, impotent in a changing world. Other beliefs are pliable, like the young sapling, ever growing with the upward thrust of life.
In reflecting on the 9 years of Chalice Camps that I've co-directed since 2011 in preparation for this service, I realized that I need to give you some background first so you understand the beauty I find in camp in general. First, as a child myself, and then in directing camps for children. My first experience with camp was at Camp Okankusa, a Girl Scout day camp just north of my hometown. Being an only child, camp can be scary and overwhelming, but I was always very independent and had no separation anxiety from my parents. I was so excited to try things I'd never done before, like archery and fire building. I started as a PA, or program aide, and was basically put in charge of young campers. It was so empowering to be entrusted with this. I was there to teach others how to light fires and how to shoot a bow and arrow. I had to keep the homesick kids distracted, encourage the shy kids, calm down everyone when they found a tick. My dad was also a historical reenactor, and camping was also a source of bonding for he and I, when we set up at many historical rendezvous with his teepee. These experiences with my dad provided me with even more mad camping skills. I can start a fire with flint and steel, I can set up a teepee, and I can toss a tomahawk at a wood slab target. At both Girl Scout Day Camp and at the historical camps, camp names were a common thread. The idea of a camp name is really appealing. It's like having a superhero identity. You get to throw off your old persona's phobias and fears and become the someone you want to be, the one who isn't afraid of ticks, who knows how to start fires and put them out, who knows how to tend a boo-boo, mend a friendship, leap tall buildings with a single bound, and live in infamy as everyone's favorite counselor. Being a camp counselor had a major and profound impact on my confidence, and it's shaped me into the confident adult I am today. I don't recall my camp name at Camp Okankusa, but I know I had one. My camp name at historical camps was Petticoat, because they could always see my slit below my old little dress. At Girl Scout day camps I've run here in Rochester, my Native American camp name is Proud Bear, which makes sense given I'm a bar. But most Rochester Girl Scouts know me as Nameless. And you might be thinking, she who shall not be named, given our Harry Potter theme this year, but really, it's simply because when they asked me what my camp name was, I hadn't given it a thought and I said, I guess I'm nameless, and it stuck. So it was important to me to build that into Chalice Camp. Not just silly camp names, but a sense of, someday, I'm going to be a counselor. That the younger kids would look up to their junior and senior counselors, sort of like superheroes, was important. The bonus for me is that not only do our beautiful UU kids gain confidence and make friends here, they are also taught our UU principles through fun-themed UU curricula every year. In the span of these 9 years, I've seen our youth begin as campers, become leaders in training, or LITs, counselors in training, or CITs, then junior counselors, then counselors, and twice even co-directors. That is a thing of beauty. To watch these kids spread their wings, grow in confidence, maturity, pride, understanding, and in a sense of giving back to this camp they love as they grow into adulthood. I could describe 100 moments from the past 9 years that are beautiful to watch, the kids experience and grow and learn here, but I'm going to share just one from this week. In prepping for this week's camp, a former camper who was helping me said, I never realized how much work went into planning and running Chalice Camp. I smiled. It was a thing of beauty to watch that aha moment for him. Now he gets it. He knows what it felt like on the other side, just being a kid having fun, then a counselor being slightly overwhelmed and exhausted but proud of themselves, and now as someone who can see from the other side why we do the work and why it's always worth it.
There is a special way that leaders of summer camps gain extra points in heaven, I believe, for all their work. So we're going to bestow those points to you today. Well, we wanted to speak just a little bit about this transition in leadership, but larger than that, the leadership that it takes from an entire community to hold camps like this together, experiences to hold our children and youth in identity formation and spiritual questioning and wonder and beauty and love. And amidst all the hours and hours and hours of preparing, organizing, planning, setting up, attending to detail after detail after detail, amidst the long hours of each day when camp arrives, and the long nights with very little hours of sleep in between, attending to each minute and each moment with a constant balancing of inclusion and intention and safety and fun. Amidst all of that and infused in it all is the true work of what you do and every leader with these children and youth do. The whole reason you do it, to help create moments where the spark and light of each child, each youth, each adult in that space ignites with a love for this faith, with a love for this world, and with a love for one another. If only we could all have such beauty and intention and moments to help find our own light each and every day and to be held in love. Ramona, you have been a keeper of this flame for many years, and as you hold it together this year with Amy, you also pass the light for her leadership for the days and years to come, and an unknown one of you as well. What better way than with a wand and with a sorting hat, would you please bestow on Amy the blessing of co-directorship?
All right, Amy Nelson, do you willingly, without duress, take over this Chalice Camp, this awesome beast of a thing, and continue it for the beautiful children of our church?
You should have probably asked me that a couple weeks ago, but yes.
right, note to self. I hereby W official Chalice Camp Director and pass this wand to you. Thank you.
So each day at Chalice Camp, we light this chalice as we gather, and as we gather for worship here in the sanctuary. Ramona is going to pass the light from this congregation, and as she does, I want you to remember that this camp and anything we do with children and youth is about how we embody our best values, how we take care of each generation together. So we're going to bless this passing of the light. So I invite you to take your hands together and kind of rub them just a little bit and feel the energy that's created. And spread them out and feel the energy between. And if you are a counselor, or you are a volunteer or a co-director, feel the blessing as you turn your hands toward each other. There is a blessing and an energy and a spirit that comes with every moment that we spend together. There is a light that comes from within each of us to ignite wonder and curiosity and beauty. It takes all of us, it takes the flame of this Sunday chalice to this chalice for this camp, and together we bless the world and each other. Amen. I invite you, as you're comfortable, to join a hand next to you or place your hand over your heart and breathe deep the breath of life. As Albus Dumbledore of Harry Potter said, happiness can be found even in the darkest of times if one only remembers to turn on the light. May it be so. Amen.